Yes, people, welcome back to Football's 12th Man. Welcome back to the Arsenal Roundabout. Dan isn't here tonight, so I'm doing hosting duties again. We've got a great panel on a match day. We watched Arsenal play for the first time in a while. It's been a good break, but we are finally back. Today we've got DJB, we've got Jez, we've got Kenny as always, we've got D, and we've got Shane. Lads, we're going to start with the game today. I'll give my 2 pence first. Won't go too much into detail, but we'll get into it. We can talk about specific players, talk about the halves, talk about positives and negatives. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought we played quite well. I thought it was 90% Arsenal. I think it started off a bit slow. Maybe I expected more from AC Milan. It started off, it felt a bit like a pre-season friendly, which obviously is to be expected. But I thought some players stepped up quite quickly. I thought Ethan Nwaneri in that first half was very, very good. Some top quality from him, which you want to see from a guy who's, look, we don't know if he's demanding game time, if he's not, if it's all talk, whatever it is. We know this guy wants to be in the first team. We know this guy wants minutes. And just from 45 minutes of the first game of pre-season, we can see that this guy is determined and he's good enough to demand minutes. So I was impressed with Ethan. Norgard, there's been a lot of talk about him not being good enough. Should we have brought him in? I thought he was good in the first half. I thought Saka was on it. Saliba in the first half defensively, I thought was phenomenal. Personally, he was my man of the match. I just thought he had a bit of a shaky season last season. He had some moments, some high-profile moments. I thought he was on it today. And a few youngsters that came on. But for me, it was a positive game. It was a positive start to pre-season. We got the win. We lost on penalties, but that's just exhibition penalties for practice. But 1-0 to the Arsenal. In my opinion, it probably should or could have been more. But DJ, I'll come to you. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, I mean, pre-season's hard to really look into because it's all about fitness. It's about giving players minutes that probably won't be first choice next season. It's nice that they get away with the first team, train with the first team, and all of that side of the things, the positive. I thought Nwaneri, for the first 10 minutes, tried to adapt to more central role. Once he got the hang of where he was playing, he kind of got into the game, and I thought he'd done some good things. But that's what Ethan Nwaneri can do. That's his strong points. We all know what he's capable of doing, and this is what I've been trying to say. It's now up to the coaching staff and the manager to get the best out of him in his position, because he's not going to be one for kind of going on the defensive side of things. So I think that central role might suit him a little bit better. Norgard done okay. I thought he'd done all right. But again, it's hard to judge him on a friendly against a Milan team that kind of showed fits and starts whether they were interested or not. But what Norgard done, he done okay. Is he going to start ahead of Zubimendi and Rice? No. But he done okay. Odegaard still looks off it for me. I mean, people were saying that he looked lively, but then that's what Odegaard does. He's one of these players that looks busy, but actually he's not really creating much, you know? And he gave the ball away a couple of times, and his indecisions. He weren't making the right decisions. There was a couple of times when he could have played Saka down the line, and he kind of held the ball, cut inside and lost it. You know, so he's still got that in his game. The biggest problem for me, Saliba looks like Saliba. I think Saliba's, a top centre half. The biggest problem for me, and it's evident to everyone, is the left-hand side. I thought the left side of midfield, I thought Martinelli, he looked very, very ordinary to me. I mean, he looks a player that's kind of either had his head turned, or he looks a player that knows his days are numbered at Arsenal. He had that whole persona about him for me. He looks as if Madueke's come in and he's going to get the nod in front of him. He's just not. That left-hand side still needs to be addressed for me. It still looks quite weak. That's evident. Havertz, I'm sorry. Someone tell me what he does. I'm still to find out what he does. He didn't look. I don't know. I know it's hard to judge on the first game, but I'm just seeing signs of this can't go on into next season. If we're going to be a serious threat, challenging and stuff like that, these are the players that I'm looking at and thinking can we get anything more out of him? And I look at Martinelli, I look at Havertz, I look at Odegaard, and I'm thinking we probably still need to sign a few more players for me. Eze is a must, I think. I think Eze is a must. But listen, it was a run out. We won 1-0. It was nice to see Dowman. I think Max Dowman's a special player. I think he's going to be an absolute gem of a player. I think he's brilliant. I've seen him a few times playing for the academy and stuff like that, and he's a top player, real top player. And that was nice to see him get minutes and get on there. Saka looked lively. I've got to admit, he did look lively. It's hard to judge. It's hard to judge pre-season. It's all about fitness. It's all about getting minutes under the belt and seeing where we go from there. But one thing you can take from it is still we're short. We are short. We still need players in certain areas, and one of the main areas we need to address in this transfer window, if we can, is the left side of midfield. But it weren't a disaster, but it weren't nothing special. There was a lot of kind of the way we were playing was pretty similar to how we play, and I hope the new signings will change that. So that's where I'm at, man.
Fair enough. We'll get onto kind of new incomings later, what we still need, outgoings. We're going to talk about Gyokeres, of course. But Jez, I know you watched the game. Positives and negatives. Is the left-hand side, is that still a kind of the main focus point for you? Do you think that's where we need to address?
I do, yeah. I mean, Martinelli looked out of shape to me. He just wasn't influential enough for my liking. There needs to be some changes there. I mean, I like Martinelli. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great player. But at the moment, from what I'm seeing, he's just not at his peak. Saka had a lovely game. Cheeky little goal. But, the left side, we do need to strengthen up down there. It could cause us a lot of problems because if we don't get that set up properly, we're going to get targeted. A bit like last year, down the left side. And that's going to cause us problems. But overall, it's a good start. The penalty shootout, we know that's just done for TV. It's a bit of a pointless exercise, if you want my opinion. But, very impressed with the young lad, 15-year-old Max Dowman. He's one for the future, that boy. He's very silky. Some of his on-the-ball movement was very impressive. Very, very impressive. So we need to look after him. I wouldn't rush him into the team just yet because I don't think he's physically big enough. It was a pre-season friendly. It wasn't that physical, the game. But there was a few players there disappointed again with. Havertz, I thought was just not there. Odegaard, he's not a captain for me. I've said this before, Christian. Take the pressure off him. Take the captaincy away from him. I reckon he'd be a different player. I don't think he's got the mentality to be a captain. That's my personal view. But,
do you not think he's ever had it though? Because before last season, PFA Team of the Year 2 years running, majority of Arsenal fans were more than happy with him. I was happy with him as our captain. I thought he was one of our best players, consistently one of our best players. For me, it's just since that injury that people are talking like this. Have you always thought that about Odegaard, or is it just since that injury that you've turned a little bit, or you're thinking a bit different, especially with Ethan coming potentially into that position, Max Dowman coming through now?
I just personally think that Odegaard, look, I was the one that made the statement when we brought Havertz from Chelsea, and I made the idiot statement. I said, there's a player in there somewhere, and we nearly found him, then he disappeared. But no, I'm sorry, not for me, not Odegaard. He disappears in too much for my liking. Captains don't do that. When you think back in time, some of the great captains we've had at this club, we need somebody of that ilk to get us over the line. So no, not for me at all. Saliba, thought was great today. Absolutely my man in the match, without a question of a doubt. I did like the fact that we have got some players on the sideline there, which could be part of the squad. and I'm hoping it will help us push it on. But there was points in that game, Christian, where again I thought Arteta's tactics were a bit weak. So, in Wary, lovely game again. Certainly, I think now he's got his contract sorted, he's going to move on and do the shapes that we need him to do. So, it's as DJ said, it's a pre-season friendly. You could see the players weren't going mad. They were like having a laugh and a joke at times, which is one of them things, I suppose. Different if we were playing them in the Champions League, that is for sure. But it was an enjoyment to watch. Nice to see Arsenal back, and I can't wait for the start of the season, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, Zubimendi looked good. I'm impressed. Pity we couldn't see Gykeres, but we will. And yeah, it's a good start. Good start.
Shane, we were talking backstage just now. I think you've got slightly different views to me. Talk to me about how you felt about the game. You weren't happy with. I know you weren't happy with our style of play last season. So for you today, you said you saw more of the same. Nothing really changing. Talk to me about the game.
Yeah. I didn't watch it live. Now I watched the full thing back there just before we came on. It was more the same for me. It was more the sideways passing. It was more I'm looking at up front and going, I can see Gykeres making run after run and not being found. The thing with Max Dowman as well, I mean, anyone that's an Arsenal fan of any ilk or any sort of credibility knows how good this lad is. So that's no surprise. He's a wonderful player, and he's going to be a wonderful player. Wanyeri, I thought, was good in the 10, but I feel for him because we know when the season starts that no matter what he does, unless there's a disaster with Odegaard, he's not getting into 10. I do hope that I'm wrong. I hope that he can push his way in, but I just don't see this lad ever being dropped. And I think there's no incentive for him. I just saw more of the same side as pass. My biggest fear for Zubimendi is him getting swamped when he gets the ball short with a high press that he's not used to. When you're not going to see that in the preseason. So he was given time to take a look and have a pass. I've never questioned his passing ability. I've never questioned his ability, full stop. I think he's a great player. I just saw the way he got bullied against United in the Europa League, and I'm afraid that early on in the season, he's going to get swamped as soon as he gets the ball. And that'll be the tactic of United on the first game of the season. As soon as Raya bowls him the ball out, swamp him because he's not used to it. I think he will, in time, get used to it. We just don't have time for it. I would have liked to have a player there that was still in the team, in that position, that you could edge Zubimendi in the first few games, have him on the bench, edge him in, start him in one of like the home to Leeds instead of away to United. But we'll see how it goes. Havertz, again, all this nonsense PR that was out about him bulking up. It was never his muscle mass that caused him to flop to the ground. It's just the type of player he is. He'll still do the same thing when he goes for a header. He'll still flop to the ground. If he gets shouldered, he'll still flop to the ground. It makes no difference with that guy. But for me, I wanted to see something different. I wanted to see that we are going to mix it up. And people say, yeah, it's preseason. I'd never read into preseason. Never. It's like DJ said, it's just a training session. It's a fancy training session. It's for fitness. And I do get it. You know, you want to get the winning feeling and stuff like that. But I just feel that if you are going to do something new in the season, you have to start doing it now. You can't just go into the new season with new tactics or train behind closed doors and do it. And the thing is with Gykeres, I'm gassed that we got Gykeres. He's the player I wanted. He's the forward that I wanted. And the thing is that I just look at our tactics and I do worry for the chap. I do worry for him that everything about him is getting played through the middle. He likes to be played through the middle. He likes to be on the shoulder of the defender, spin the defender, get played through. And I don't see who we have that can do that. And people say, oh, Odegaard, and it's only last season he wasn't good. But even when he was apparently good and he played he plays with Norway, he has one of the, if not the best striker at making those runs in the world in Haaland. And he barely ever finds them. So I don't see what the difference is going to be. Gykeres will score more than the players that we've had over the last few years, but he's not going to get record numbers. And that's nothing on him. It's nothing on him, and it's not about the league switch and stuff like that. It's just about the tactics. So what I was hoping to see was a change in tactics, any sort of inkling that there's a change in tactics. And for me, it was literally a continuation from last season. And I worry because, you know, I saw the drop off of us last season. We talk about injuries and all that. I'm not getting into that. And I just see it continuing next season. I wanted to see something different, a little tweak somewhere along the line. And I'm afraid that because he always likes one little tweak in the summer to put his stamp on it. And I have a sneaky feeling that tweak will be the way he makes Gykeres make runs. He'll have to adjust his game somehow just to put his little stamp on it and say, look, here I am now. I made this guy what he is. Maybe it'll be, I'll get him to score headers and then I can take credit for that. So I don't know. For me, the preseason, look, I'm not getting on them because it's preseason. Saka played well. Nwaneri played well. Max Dowman played well. Saliba played well. Martinelli was terrible. Odegaard was terrible. Havertz was terrible. But, it's preseason. You don't read too much into it. It is when the season starts, we'll get to see. But the reason I was disappointed was literally what you said, that I said earlier. It was same old, same old. And that to me won't get us anywhere because it hasn't for 5 years. So I don't see why it'll get us somewhere next season when the squad's thinner than it was the previous season. I know we're going to get into signings and stuff like that, so I won't get into that. But yeah, for me, I wouldn't say disappointed. Like, I'm not sitting here gutted about it. I just, I suppose I'm let down that it's just the same old, same old. So, that'd be more it for me. It's just, yeah, you have to do something different, mate, after last season, and it doesn't look like he's going to. But again, it's only one preseason game. Who knows what will happen as the preseason goes on? Maybe he'll gradually tweak it, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, this is just the start, and I think the changes need to come in the forward line. And without any change of personnel yet, I think it's quite hard to judge. So yeah, with Gyokeres coming in, Madueke potentially coming in, I think we all agree that we need at least one more in the attacking line. Hopefully that will bring that change that you're talking about. Kenny, I know, just going off what Shane said, I know you've had similar reservations. When we were talking about Sesko or Gykeres over the past few weeks / months, yours was the same thing. It was, we don't play that, ball in behind. We play against low blocks. How is Gykeres going to get space? Was it the same watching it today? Did you feel the same as Shane, where it was same old and how is Gykeres going to fit in? Or do you, now that we'll get into it a bit more, but now that we know he's going to come in, are you coming round to it a little bit more? Do you see where he's going to fit in, or is it still the same?
The thing with pre-season, like pre-season in relation to the new players, you're not really going to get much to gauge from. For a start, the transfer window ends at 1st of September, so there's still time to get new players in. The blue ribbon signing Gykeres wasn't there, so you can't really relate Gykeres to what happened today. And Madueke as well, new signing, but he needs more rest because he's playing the World Club Championships for Chelsea. So when I look at pre-season games, what first one I look for is, I know that it's probably going to be same old, because we're not going to always get our players. Ideally, you want all your new players in so you can bed them in, but that doesn't happen. I knew Norgard was going to play because I think he's just to bed himself in. He's a professional, 31 years old. He's got the experience, so he was going to keep things ticking over. Zubimendi, I didn't really take much for him. All I was looking at is the fitness. The player I look for in pre-season is Bukayo Saka, because I always feel that if Bukayo Saka is got his legs pumping, he's looking really fit. I think, regardless of whether we get Gykeres or not, Saka's the key to us doing anything next season. He's still our best player. He's still the sort of player that's got the je ne sais quoi. Obviously, you want Odegaard to have that, but with Saka being injured, we relied a lot on Odegaard and he didn't deliver. That's why there's a massive clamoring for Eberechi Eze to give us another creative spark. So I was just saying, right, how did Saka look today? I was glad he scored. Looked pretty sharp. That's the things I was looking at. Martinelli, down the left-hand side, I wanted to see if there was any improvement. I didn't see much. It was just the same old. I kind of looked away from Martinelli because I'm assuming that with Madueke coming into the team, I don't see how a £52 million player is going to be an understudy of Saka. I just don't see it. No. So I've earmarked the left-hand side for him. I know a lot of teams don't play that way, but that's it. I kind of, when I look at pre-season games, I'm probably going to be looking, well, I'm going to want something different. So today, I was just happy with the fitness. Saliba always looks like $1 million. I thought it was a really good game. He's cut. Next season's going to be massive for him as well, because last season he was making quite a lot of mistakes. He missed his mate and Gabriel. That's another one I'd look out for. But in essence, pre-season games all about the fitness. It's all about making sure that our players come in nice and sharp. And then further on, when you get to like the Emirates Cup, that's when you get more of your players and you'll see us at our best. So I think if you want to take anything out of any Arsenal match, wait till like maybe the week before the season starts when we have the Emirates Cup games, the friendly and the Emirates Cup games. So I think that's where you are going to see more of a style of play. Hopefully, Gykeres will be there by then. Madueke might have to have a look at him. And hopefully we've got some dough to get Eze in.
Mm.
Yeah, the left-hand side is definitely a problem. Look, I'm a Martinelli fan as well, but I feel like I'm living a little bit off 2-3 years ago. He scored 15 goals in the league. We saw a high level from Martinelli over that season. But it has just been a drop-off ever since. I can't deny that. I think his biggest fans can't deny that. I think a lot of fans are just hopeful that he can get back there. There are moments. I feel like there were moments last year. Scored at the Bernabeu. He had some good games. Even in the game today, there was a moment where he put it through the defender's legs. There was a few moments where he looked dangerous. But just consistently throughout the 90 or however long he plays, especially when you've got a player like Saka on the other side, who's head and shoulders, You want the left-hand side to be as dangerous as your right-hand side, and bringing in someone like Rodrigo or Eze's not a left winger, but we know what he can do playing in that position. You want someone that can be as good as the right winger. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't always go down the right. Because I thought that link up with Ben White and Saka today was really, really good, especially in the first half. D, coming to you. You kind of heard both sides of it. For me, there was a lot of positives for the game. Left-hand side is a problem. Talking about style of play, side to side. Look, it's the first game of preseason, but Arsenal played today, so we've got to talk about it. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'll kind of echo what Kenny Ken said. A lot of what Kenny Ken said. That I think today was just more about relationships with the newer players. I think that's what I was looking at. I was looking at more so not looking at. I was looking at is Saka ready, because he looks fired up. I'm looking at stuff like that, and then I'm looking at players like Wanyeri, Zubamendi, Norgard, Dowman. I wasn't really looking so much at everyone else. I'm more looking at the relationships between players, and I think that's the reason why he played Zubamendi and Odegaard together in the second half, and Rice. He kept Rice on for the second half. That's the reason why he played them, so they can start building their own little relationships and stuff like that. I think for the other players, the younger players, they've got an opportunity to kind of show that they're ready to play, and they need to kind of force their way into the team. That's what it's about. But it's a good thing that we're at crunch time with the club. Fortunately or unfortunately, either way, we're at crunch time, and every player now is at a point where you can lose your spot. That everyone's at that place now, and I think this game today is just a bit. It's fitness and relationships. You're just trying to build it. But I'm looking at specific players, saying you guys haven't got any leeway, and some do. So Saka's got a lot of leeway. Odegaard doesn't. Martinelli has no leeway. So Martinelli is fighting for his spot. He knows that, and I expect him to play like that as well. Wanyeri, for example, you can tell he's itching to play. You can tell from the way he was playing today. He treated this game like it was a cup final. So that's what I expect from certain players, and that's what we've got to do going forward. But this game is just a fitness game. It wasn't anything more than that. It was just fitness and relationships. And I feel like the relationships today, Zubamendi still gets, like what someone said about being swamped. He got ran past about 3 or 4 times by Leo today. Like he jogged past him like 3. Zubamendi is more of an interceptor more than a tackler. You know what I mean? He likes to intercept the ball and nick it in front of a guy and nick it in front of that guy. He's more like that, more so than a Declan Rice that is good at 50-50s and gets the ball from you when you've got the ball. So Zubamendi, I think we're going to have to be a bit careful, because we seem to have got a little bit worse defensively in the middle of the park. And that's what I think we're going to have to worry about a bit more when it comes to playing against Newcastles and the Liverpools and those teams. We don't, unless he controls the whole game, which I don't know yet. I need to focus. I need a bit more time. We're going to have a bit of a problem with counter-attacking teams like really rushing us in terms of pace and power. We've gone a bit weaker in the middle, especially with Odegaard not performing in the last season. So that's what I'm focused on a bit more. A bit more about that, more so than anything else. Like if we had a Belabor or something like that, I would have been a bit more confident if we're not playing well. But if we're not playing well and we're not dominating the ball, we're gonna have an issue. We struggled with teams like Bournemouth and Fulham last year, and those teams are powerful runners. They got running power. So we've gone a bit more weaker in the middle with Zubamendi instead of Partey. So he needs to control the game way more than Partey does for us to have any type of balance. Because if he doesn't, we're going to have a little bit of an issue because I saw it today. And today was a friendly game and he got ran past about 3 or 4 times with ease. So, I don't know. That's just my take on it anyway.
Yeah, no, fair enough. On Sunday, we play Newcastle. They're going to have a certain Swedish striker up front. And we might see a certain Swedish striker in the Arsenal team. And I think Sam's put together a little clip quickly. So just have a watch. A good friend of mine, shout out Sean. I don't even know if he watches this show, but good friend of mine. It's not like I heard this from a friend of a friend's friend. This is a good friend of mine. He called me last night and he said this happened. He bumped into Andrea Berta in central London yesterday. This is a picture of my friend Sean, Andrea Berta in central London last night, right? I called him. I was like, mate, you met Andrea Berta? He was like, you never guess what he said. So I said to him, like, what's going on? Who are we signing? Andrea Berta said to him, who do you want? And he said, look, a lot of the talk this week has been around Sesko. Like, what's going on with that? And he kind of shook his head and he was a bit like, And he says, and Sean said to Andrea Berta, personally, I want Gykeres. Andrea Berta goes like this for a fist bump and he goes, you got him. Fist bumps him and then walks off. So for everyone that gave me abuse and called me out after I went on Dan's podcast and literally just told a story about my friend Sean who bumped into Andrea Berta, asked him about Gyokeres, and Andrea Berta says, you got him, and gave him a fist bump. Well, I just got one thing for you lot.
Yeah, you deserve that. You should have done it bigger. You should have done it first at the beginning of the stream, and secondly, you should have done it.
Nobody was questioning.
Is your friend on commission? Is he getting commission for this?
There's no way on earth that a director of football would hand out sensitive information to some guy in the street. You just got lucky, man.
Well, it looks like it doesn't. Well, either or. He still got it right. He still got it right.
It happened.
Right? Yeah,
you should have played that at the beginning, bro.
I wanted it to fill up a bit. At the beginning, there's a few hundred. Look, we got 1,400 in the building now.
Arteta's had his mate Lynch now. Arteta's had his mate Lynch now because he never got Sesko.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you need to do, Christian? You need to play that at the beginning of every stream.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I've been holding it back. Look, Sam put something together. Sam behind the scenes. So big up Sam.
Big up Sam.
But yeah, look, like I said, we might see Gykeres playing for us on Sunday. I don't know if that's too early. But I'm excited to see him, man. We had the Here We Go yesterday. Big news. We were all waiting for it. Everyone was getting a little bit nervous. Apparently, the night before it was completely finalised, Sporting offered him to Man United again. They were so desperate to get more money out of the deal, which I understand because, look, he's 27 years old. He scored, I think, 102 goals in 2 years at Sporting Lisbon. Top scorer in Europe's 5 leagues over the past 2 years again. Obviously just a great goal scorer, a lethal player. In any other year, in any other market, without that gentleman's agreement, which we know happened behind the scenes, he's going for 90, 100 million, maybe even a bit more. We saw Mudryk have a good 6 months in Ukraine and go for 75, 80 million to Chelsea. We've seen Caicedo have one good year at Brighton and go for 115 million to Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? These players can have 6 months or a year where they perform well and they're going for ridiculous money. For Gyokeres to do it in the Championship, to go to Portugal, win the league twice, perform in the Champions League, score a ridiculous amount of goals. He played against us. I know we beat him 5-1, but he was still impressive. And he was a handful for our defenders. And look, this is the guy I wanted. Okay, look, that video is a bit tongue-in-cheek. I understand. It's just a bit of fun. But this is the guy I wanted. I'm excited that he's coming in. My question is, and I've seen a lot about this online, what does it mean for Kai Havertz? Because we know Kai Havertz is Arteta's guy. He loves Kai Havertz. He obviously brought him in to play as a left eight. He wasn't quite good enough, didn't quite cut it. Then he moved him up front. Is Gykeres coming in to be the main man? Is Havertz going to get a lot of games? Is Gykeres going to sit on the bench? Are we going to see a kind of a team or a system where Gykeres plays 65, then Havertz comes on? Because that's what Lacazette was doing at one point. Was it it was Lacazette. Lacazette was coming off around 65, 70 minutes every game. I can't remember who was even... We were rotating strikers, and I remember Lacazette coming out and he was frustrated. I think Eddie was coming on for him pretty much every game. And he was coming out and saying, look, towards the end of the game, that's when defenders get tired. That's when a striker gets most of their goals, when they kind of become a fox in the box. If we then take off Gyokeres when he's going to be the man 75 plus minutes, kind of getting on the end of things, and we're bringing on Havertz. And then we've got to change our system, and then we're crossing it in. Worries me a little bit. DJ, your thoughts on Gyokeres coming in?
Well,
and
first of all,
just talk to me a bit about how he fits, how Havertz then fits.
I mean,
how
first of all, it was 99.5% of the Arsenal fan base wanted Gykeres. The only sort of person that didn't want him was Mikel Arteta. He wanted Sesko. Let's be honest. He went for him last season, and he was all out for him this season. The reason why he wanted Sesko was because it fits his style of play. It fits his kind of false nine kind of role. And then he can integrate Havertz. That's completely all gone out the window now. So now he's got to sit back and he's got to go back to the drawing board because he ain't getting his Sesko. He's getting his Gykeres. Gykeres is a throwback. He's an old-fashioned type of striker. He's kind of Alan Shearer, Wayne Rooney type of player. If you like, he's a bit different. He's got a touch of the Haalands about him. Not in Haaland's league, but he's got a touch of the Haalands about him. The reason why we're all gassed up is because we've been starved of a striker for so many years. And, the fact that we've just got a number 9 is everyone's rightly so getting excited because we've been starved of a striker. Let's be honest. So this is the fans' choice. It ain't necessarily the manager's choice. Now, on top of that, the manager now has got to make the decision. And the decision he's got to make is he's got to pretty much semi-build the team around Gykeres. Because this guy scores goals. And he's got to build the team around him. And if he's going to mess around with Havertz and try and integrate Havertz into the team, then he's going to make a huge mistake. And this is the question mark over the football manager. He doesn't do things logically that the fans expect. He done it with Aubameyang, put him out on the left, isolated him. Does nonsense like put Partey at right back. So he does anything against the run of the mill because he's got this way of thinking that he knows best all the time. And sometimes that can be his downside. And whether you like it or not, Gykeres needs to play. He needs to be in the starting lineup, like your Saliba and Gabriel, Declan Rice, his name, and Saka. His name also has to go on the team sheet straight away. And then you've got to get players in and around him to supply, because what we don't want is players not giving him the service. And then consequently what happens then is, like all strikers, they go looking for the ball. And then you'll see him pop up on the halfway line, coming too deep. You'll see him going out on the left to try and get the ball. And he's not then in the positions where we need him. And that is in the centre scoring goals. And this is my worry. This is why I look at players like Odegaard and I think to myself, because me with Odegaard, I don't see him getting back to how he was. I think he's reached his peak. I don't think we're going to get much more out of Odegaard. So I look at him to create stuff, and it ain't going to come from him. So getting to the question, the main thing is that this football manager has to change the way he plays tactically. He has now got to adapt to the way Gykeres plays. Because being a striker that scores lots of goals, he knows he's the main man. He knows that. And with that, like any player, there's going to come this bit of kind of attitude about him. And I'm just wondering now whether he's going to be asked to do things, because he'll turn around and say, look, I'm not dropping now. I'm not going out on the left. This is what I do. And I don't quite know how that's going to fare with the manager in the long run. So basically, me, Havertz, quite simply, needs to be put on the bench. Havertz don't get in the team. He doesn't get in.
Shane, I want to come to you because you're talking about the style of play side to side. If a team sets up to play low block against you and you've got someone like Gykeres up front, what do you do? How do you get the ball to your striker? How do you create chances for your striker if a team is literally coming to the Emirates or playing at home and just playing a low block? If you're Arteta, what do you do differently? With
You just have to be more. You have to be more. You have to be more direct. You have to be more direct, and you have to understand that playing the more risky passes or the more direct, straight through the channels passes, some of them won't work. Sometimes you'll lose the ball, but you have to keep trying it. Other teams play against low blocks and get goals. You know what I mean? A lot of the Arsenal fans seem to think that we're the only team that face low blocks. Liverpool face low blocks all season. And low block used to just be a team that locks up. People say low block now, it sounds like you can't penetrate it. Other teams can penetrate it. Let's get it right. Under this manager, no striker has scored 15 goals in a season. Aubameyang in his first season got 22, but a vast majority of them were while Emery was still here for that half a season. No striker has scored 15 goals for this man in the league. And that's including Aubameyang then in the later period, but he did stick him out the wing for a lot of it. And yes, people say we haven't had the strikers, we haven't had this, we haven't had that. But Chris Wood could get 20 goals for Forest, and he is not a good striker. Let's get it right. That chap is average. He's bang average. They just built a team around getting him goals. They built a team directly to get him goals. And with Gykeres at Sporting, the whole team was built around getting him goals. Every player in that team, their job was, when you have the ball and he makes this run, this is the ball you play. When he makes this run, this is the ball you play. He had 2 number 10s behind him and wing backs. He doesn't get goals from the wings. He gets goals from the middle. And he had 2 number 10s and then a couple of midfielders behind them as well. And every time he made a run, the player knew what ball to play. When he comes here, let's get this right. He'll be told what run to make. It won't be you make this run and he'll be told you need to make this run, you need to make that run, I need you to do this. And he'll be micromanaged from the side. And it's going to cause friction. It will, because like DJB said, he is an old school forward. He wants goals. He wants as many goals as he can get. He wants numbers. And I love that in a forward. Ruud van Nistelrooy used to come off the pitch if United won 3-0. If he didn't get one of the goals, he was gutted. He was gutted. He was happy with the win, but he was gutted he didn't score. And this guy's one of the same. And I do see it causing friction. And as for where Havertz goes, I'd be very surprised if Gykeres starts the first game of the season. I think against United that Havertz will start. Again, I can't argue with that because I said the same thing about Zubamendi, that he shouldn't be starting. With a player like that, they should edge them in if they haven't, But I wouldn't be surprised some points next season if Gykeres is out the left and Havertz is up front. I think he will start with the majority of the games up front. He'll have to. But like DJB said, Arteta went into this summer with a plan. It was to get Sesko in and it was to get Zubamendi in and it was to play the ball slower from the back, get Raya to roll the ball out to Partey like he did to Partey. Zubamendi will turn, have a look and start to play from there. That's when I talked about him getting swamped. That's where I mean he's going to get swamped. He's not used to that. In Spain, he's used to getting the ball turning, having a bit of time, and then he can pick his pass. He's good enough to get used to it. Don't get me wrong. Zubamendi's good enough to adapt his game. We have to remember that when Rodri came in, Rodri made plenty of mistakes for City. He made plenty of mistakes when he first came in, to the point where people were saying, is he able to cut it? The difference is he had Fernandinho and the like there to step in when he wasn't. If the pressure was getting on him. This guy hasn't. We can say we can drop Rice back and all that sort of stuff. But with Gykeres, I do feel for him that when he makes these runs that he's not going to be found. But with a low block like that, you do have to. I'm not talking about risky passes like Odegaard with his little scoop thing that doesn't work. I'm just talking about you just have to keep getting the ball to him, and he'll lose it a lot, and he'll turn and snapshot, and the defender will block it and stuff like that. But you do feel with Arteta that his whole thing is don't lose the ball. I don't know if he'll let him just keep firing off shots all the time. So if Arteta lets him off the leash, he might get a few. But I don't think there's a universe that exists where Arteta tweaks his tactics for anybody, and especially not a player he didn't want. I don't think he'll tweak the tactics at all for this guy. Instead of building the team to feed Gykeres, he'll try and make Gykeres fit into his system. The guy will still score goals because that's what he does. But if he gets up to 20 goals, I'd be surprised if he hits 20 goals in the season. I think he'll get between 15 and 20. If he has a really good season, he'll get between 15 and 20.
I'm going to come on to that question. I want to get everyone's opinion on how many he gets, but we'll get to that. You mentioned Rodri there as well. But I think Rodri's been at City for 6 years now. He's 29. So when he came in, he was 23. Like you said, he had Fernandinho next to him as well. 23, you've got space, you've got time to improve. Gykeres is coming in at 27, right? We need to win the league this year. We need to win something major this year. He hasn't got time. He needs to come in and hit the ground running. And Arteta's got to get the best out of him. Whether he wanted Sesko, whether he wanted Gykeres, doesn't matter. He's got his striker now. We're all saying it. He hasn't got a lot of goals out of anyone, over 20 goals out of anyone in a few years. So does need to hit the ground running. I want to come on to that question in a sec about how many we think he gets. We're all going to give a little prediction. But Jez, coming to you as well. I've seen a lot of people over the past few weeks, since we've known he was pretty much going to come in, say that this is our most exciting signing since Aubameyang. And look, we had Declan Rice in there. There's been a few other players, but the real exciting signs for the fans are attacking players, the ones that are going to score you goals, the ones that, are going to get you over the line in the league, going to give you those big moments. Is this exciting for you? Are you looking forward to seeing a new number 9? And do you think it could be, as everyone's talking about, the missing piece?
Well, look, come on. Arsenal have been notorious having great strikers in history. Yeah, we could all name our favourites. We've gone without a proper striker now for 3 seasons, and it's cost us bad. So there was a point I was thinking there when DJ was chatting and Shane about the possible problem with Gykeres starting over Havertz starting over Gykeres. Maybe it's time for Arteta, Mikel, to actually change his tactics now and go to a 4-4-2. He can shoehorn in Havertz and Gykeres in his natural position. So maybe that's something Mikel may be looking at. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a tactician, but it's just my viewpoint. But to answer your question, man, we do need a striker. It's proven. And I agree. This season, Mikel has got to win something big. Last season, I was one of them. That the fact that I would have taken the League Cup because it's silverware. I don't disrespect any silverware. It's what you play the game for, to win. But this year, we've got to win big. We've got to have the Premier League or the Champions League. No question, no other questions at all. I still think, which will annoy me as a fan, he'll throw the FA Cup in the bin again, which I think is just nonsensical, but that's his way. Bearing in mind, it's the only trophy he's won. So I'm surprised he never tried to defend it. But at the end of the day, I think the way I'm looking at it, Christian, Mikel's now got a problem. He's got a nice problem. He's got a problem of who he's going to play where. And I want to see that because we used to have players in this situation who was going to play in that position in various parts of the field. And I like that because now it's not an automatic pick, right? We're going to go on performance, who's playing the best to get us over the line. And I like that. I still think we're short of 1 or 2 players, personally, because we've got 6 in, 7 out. So we need to get somebody else in. And another one, if you want my honest opinion, I would go for Eze and another. We'll wait and see what happens with Norgard. I've already seen him play at Brentford. So I mean, people have said to me on my channel, what do you think of Gykeres? I have no knowledge. I'm not one of these people that will profess that I've watched him for hours and hours and hours. I haven't. I'm going with the ones who do know better than me, and I will be led by their decision. But eventually, I will make my own decision. Haven't watched him play at Arsenal, but no, I haven't watched him play hundreds of games and hours. No, I haven't. But I'm excited about it, mate, Christian, because we need that striker. We need him. And it could be the one. He could be the one, mate, that gets it over the line. I still think we need another 2 players personally, but it's exciting times. Come on. It's always exciting times at the start of the season, isn't it? Yeah, we've missed the game now for like 2.5 odd months. We want to get back into it. So yeah, I am excited about it, and I just hope the guy steps up and does the job and gives Arteta a problem on selection, because that's what we need.
Yeah,
Jez,
go on, Shane.
I don't know, just to say that the fact that I don't know why anybody's not questioning, and people are questioning, but why more people are questioning that this guy's been given 6 new players, and we're saying we need more, How can, after this amount of time being in charge, can you get handed 6 new players and have the smallest squad in the league? It just shows the absolute devastation that he's done to this squad. And I don't know why it's not questioned more. Nearly £1 billion down, 6 years into his career, and with 6 new players, we have the smallest squad in the league. I think it's absolutely disgraceful.
That's what I've been saying that, Shane, and we're still in the position where we're behind Liverpool. And when you ask anyone, can we win the league? People are still turning around and saying, well, I don't think we've got quite enough to win the league. We'll challenge.
It's disgraceful to be in that position.
I don't think we've got enough to win the league. And I get frustrated that we're still in this position all these years down the line and all that money spent. So
how's that Arteta's fault?
I'm in the position now where these are your tools. This is the money you've had. These are the players you've got. You now need to show us that you are this top manager. It's literally the ball is in his court now this season. That's where I'm at with it. Gykeres or no Gykeres.
I do think, like, I get both of your points. I completely understand. But Gykeres fought tooth and nail, right, to join Arsenal.
Oh yeah,
it's been reported over the past few weeks. The only team he wanted to join was Arsenal.
Yeah.
Who's the man responsible for that? It's Mikel Arteta. Declan Rice wanted to join Arsenal. Man City wanted to sign him. Bayern wanted to sign him. Wanted to join Arsenal because of what Mikel Arteta is building and has built.
We outbid City.
Zubimendi. One second, let me finish. Zubimendi, right? Big teams around Europe. Liverpool tried to sign him. Barcelona wanted him. Argue all you want, mate. These are players that are sought after by some of the biggest teams in Europe, and they're joining.
So now he's
joining a project. Some of our fans are calling it a joke, right? This ain't a joke to a lot of the top players in Europe. Right, they're seeing what's building here. They want to be part of it. Gykeres was offered more money.
Why do we have to pay them so much then? Why do we have to pay them so much?
What do you mean pay them?
Why do we have average players on massive wage? Why is Zinchenko on 150 grand a week?
That's not the argument.
Come here.
You're completely changing
the
argument.
That's why they came. That's why they came here.
What are you talking
about? They don't come here. Nobody comes to a club because of Mikel Arteta, mate. There's no top player that comes to a club because of Mikel Arteta.
If Gykeres wanted more money, he could have gone to Manchester United, who are a bigger club, and he would have got paid more.
Bid for him. They didn't have the money to bid for him.
They wanted him. Of course they wanted him.
I'm sure you want the Champions League football.
Listen, if
Real Madrid had come in, if Real Madrid had put down a proper offer for Zubimendi, he would have gone there. There's no way on earth he's turning down. Do you think a player will turn down Real Madrid to come to Arsenal? Do you really think that a Spanish
player...
Maybe
I didn't say Real Madrid. I never said Real Madrid.
Who else bid for Zubimendi then? You said big teams.
Barcelona wanted him.
They didn't bid for him. Well, I've never even heard of that.
They wanted him. He said he wanted Arsenal.
How do you know? Who else bid for him?
Declan Rice. What about Man City? You bid for Declan Rice.
They didn't. We outbid Man City. We've been through this. We outbid Man City.
Either way, we are now seeing Arsenal with their hat in the ring for some of the top players in Europe. And this is a project that Mikel Arteta has built, right? What do you mean, who? All right, tell me, out of our starting 11, what it's going to be next season, right? If it's Raya in goal, Timber at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, either Lewis-Skelly or Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Gyokeres, and Martinelli. Who out of that 11 do you think are not good enough to win the league? Out of that 11.
What do you mean?
90%
of the team you just mentioned hasn't won the league. 90% of the team you just mentioned hasn't won the league. The only change is
winning the league. I'm talking about a team that has been built to potentially win the league.
I don't think we
can. But the problem, I think we're missing the point here because there's a difference between potential and actually winning the league. You're saying that he's got us to this level.
We haven't won the league. How can I talk about winning the league?
What I'm saying is now.
Which one of these players has won the league?
Yeah, but you're saying that because of Arteta, the players are here. Well, if Arteta has now sold them the dream, it's his job now to make the dream come true, isn't it?
Of course,
and this is what we're 100%. Trying to say. He's got to make the dream come true because he's obviously sold them it, and you're saying he's bought them here. But what I'm saying
why did big players come to Arsenal before Arteta? Why did big players come to Arsenal through the last 140 years?
Exactly, Shane. But what I'm trying to say is, you've just said that you've just named your starting 11 there, Christian, and said potentially they can win the league. The only two players that are different from that starting lineup on seasons that didn't win the league is Zubimendi and Gykeres. Everyone else is the same player, and we didn't win the league under them.
Failed 5 times,
and we failed.
We were very close.
So we was miles off it last season. But what I'm trying to say is, is that the only two players there that are different is Zubimendi and Gyökeres. And if you think that those two players are going to make the massive difference to win us the league, I don't think we are. I still think we're way short.
D, what do you think? How far are we from winning the league with that 11? Say Gyökeres is up front. You got Zubimendi at the base. I think left wing is still a problem, but I think apart
in a universe
from
where there's no injuries and suspensions, by the way,
starting 11-wise, I think that team is a team that can really challenge. Don't get me wrong. There's quality teams in this league. It's not going to be a given. We're probably not going to be favourites. Liverpool are strong. Man City are strong. Chelsea are strong. Newcastle, I thought would be stronger, but they're struggling in the market. It's going to be a tough league. It's never not a tough league. We've only won this Premier League 3 times. People go on like we've won it 15 times, right? And the 3 times we've won it in history, Man United could have won it. Another team could have won it. It's never a given. People talk like Arteta should have got a team like head and shoulders clear, winning it every single season.
People cut it off at Premier League. Why do you get rid of the history before Premier League? It's no different. It's just a different name for the division. Why do people cut the history off at Premier League?
I'm talking about Premier League. I'm talking about what we're in right now.
Just say top division. Why Premier League? Why do you cut it off?
All right, well, let's talk about Champions League, which we've never won. How about that? People saying that he should win it. We've never done it in our history.
I never said he should win it. I said he's never going to win it.
League Cup. When was the last time? Let's talk about that. We can talk, if you want to talk about history and go back. Yeah, there's negatives on our history as well, right? So people saying this guy has to, this guy must. I agree. If he doesn't win something next season, he probably got to go. I'll still be grateful for where he's taken us to. But in hindsight, it wasn't good enough. But to say he must win the Champions League, say he must.
But you've gone now from previously saying he has to win a major and then he has to win something and probably has to go. So you're already going down on the standards.
Yeah, already I agree. 6 years without a trophy after an FA Cup.
Well, you said about a month ago that he has to win a major or he has to go, and now he has to win something and he probably has to go.
No.
So the standard's already been lowered. You're already moving the goalposts for him.
I think
this is the problem. There's always a safety net for this guy. There's always a safety net for this guy. How could we have the smallest squad in the year?
I've seen him produce. That's why there's a safety net. And the trash that I saw.
What have you seen him produce? What have you seen him produce? 19 competitions, 19 failures.
Look, mate, I've been going to the Emirates since I was 12 years old, yeah, sitting by myself. I know what a shit Arsenal team looks like. I know what a shit atmosphere looks like. What is at the Emirates week in, week out now? Last season towards the end was a little bit different. I know Kenny, DJ, a lot of these guys also go. I don't know if you go, but it's changed over the past few years. He's brought the love back into this club. And whether people want to accept it or not, there's negative fans, there's positive fans. I understand that. I still believe in the guy. And next season is a big season. D, talk to me on the season. Obviously, it's feeling like all or nothing. There's a big section of the fan base has to win or he's gone. I'm on that bandwagon. He has to win or he's gone. But I'm not has to win or he's a shit manager. It has to win or, unfortunately, it didn't work out, even though we were close. 89 points in the Premier League, Champions League semi-final. I don't want to say good achievement because overall it's not. But he's produced a high level of football. And I genuinely think there will be clubs queuing up for his signature after he leaves Arsenal football. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. But what I feel like, we're in a position where we can potentially win a league title or win something big. Yeah. So I feel like for the first time in a long time, I feel like instead of us having in and out debates or Arteta debates and stuff like that online or outside, I feel like we have to actually band together for once and support the team for once all the way through. If he doesn't win the league at the end of the season, we can have a different conversation. But I think the whole point is to support the team, regardless of whether you're in Arteta in or out. We know he's staying, so it doesn't matter. We know Madueke is here now, so it doesn't matter whether we want him or not. We might as well just all support each other.
That's been done, Rosie. 22, 23, everybody was behind him. And he blew it. Everybody was behind him.
That's the point I'm making. They were, but what I'm saying is, at the point we're at right now, it's literally pointless saying, I don't want Arteta here when he's staying for this season. So I'm saying this season alone, for one time, why don't we all just band together and try and support the team to try and get us over the line all together one time and just give it one big push? Because
I just said that we did before, but some people can't just plug their ears and pretend things aren't happening around them.
But
you see how things are coming.
Yeah, but you wanting Arteta out now, what difference does it make? It's not going to make no difference, is it?
Also, I'll just change my mind then.
No, I'm not saying change your mind, but what I'm saying is it could help if you said, you know what, let me just support what we're doing right now to try and win it for
I'm
one.
not walking up
season.
to him in the street and calling him a prick. He doesn't even hear what I'm saying. I'm just voicing my opinion. I don't think he's good enough.
He doesn't hear what you're saying, but other fans hear what you're saying, and other
Good.
fans.
Hopefully, I turned them.
No, but not other Arsenal fans. I mean, other rival fans. If a rival fan likes you, then you're doing something wrong, because rival fans are not meant to like us. Your rival is not supposed to like you. Your rival is meant to dislike you. So as far as I'm concerned, if rival fans like me, I'm doing something wrong. So I feel like we're meant to be banding together to go against everyone else. For some strange reason, we do it, and everyone else, we banter each other because we're arguing with each other all the time.
It's the state of the club. Do you look at West Ham fans? They're in the same position. Liverpool fans aren't at the moment because things are going well. When things aren't going right, and when fans are arguing, it means there's a problem.
Yeah, but my point is what I'm saying right at the point. Okay, cool. So at the point we're in right this second, right now, all we can do is try and rectify the wrongs that have happened in the past. So the wrongs that he's made, he's put players on the big wages that he shouldn't have. He's bought Havertz he shouldn't have. He's bought certain players and Jesus and all these guys. Cool, he's made a mistake. The only thing he can do right now is rectify it. So the only rectifying that we can do now is try and say, you know what? Gykeres makes sense. That's what we want to do. Okay, Madueke doesn't make sense, but we know potential squad depth, it can work. Zubimendi, we had to get part. Everyone's complaining about Party going, but we know there's a reason. It makes sense for him to leave now because of what's happened in the past. So now we've got Zubimendi. It makes sense. Norgard, okay, it's not ideal, but it makes sense. We need some backup players and stuff like that. So all he can do is rectify the wrongs that we've done in the past. We know that there's been issues in the past. We know that. But what more can we do apart from potentially getting Eze, getting Gykeres, getting those players from now? Do you know what I'm saying? What more can we do at this point?
Not see that if we have to spend more money and get in an Eze and someone else, that if we 8 new players the guy needs, I'm talking about what the disaster that he's created. How can he need 8 new players to even still have the smallest squad in the league? Can you not see how what he's doing?
There has been issues in the past. That's what I'm saying. That the last few like Havertz was a big problem, 285 a week, big problem. Jesus on 260 doesn't Jesus on 260 a week and he hasn't performed and he's injured all the time. Big problem. I get that. These things happen. But what I'm saying is the point we're at this point right now, before the season starts, we all know we can potentially win the league. Do you know what I'm saying? We all know that. We all know where
next season.
Well, but you have hope that you know what we can.
I don't think we're getting top 4. Honestly,
you are joking. You are joking, surely.
I honestly don't think we're getting top 4 next season.
Yardman, are you there?
You don't think we're getting top 4, Shane?
I don't think we're getting top 4. So that's my opinion. I honestly don't think we're getting top. I think everything.
Even with Gykeres and Eze.
Yeah, I just think it's fault. Christian named the first 11 there, right? He named the first 11, but take away any one of those players and we get massively weaker. And the injuries we had last season, there's going to be a huge carryover from them next season. A huge carryover. Timber's going to be in and out of the team. White will be in and out of the team. Gabriel's coming back from a grade 3 hamstring. He'll be 6 months out. If he could go out again. Rice has so much running he's going to have to do covering Zoom. All the injuries, people just think it's going to stop just because the season ended. You know what I mean? All the same problems are there.
Why have we got to the point that we're not getting top 4 when we?
Because I just think Chelsea have grown. They were catching. If last season had gone on for say another 3-4 weeks, the way we were stumbling over the line, the way Chelsea and Newcastle were catching up, we would have finished behind them. And this is a continuation. Now, Newcastle with Champions League and not signing the way they did might be cut out.
But we didn't finish behind them. 1 and 2, we've signed a striker that we've all wanted. We've all said
Chelsea have signed as well. Chelsea have signed a load of players.
Well, we finished above Chelsea,
and they've won 2 competitions. They've got that feeling. They've won.
We weren't in. We couldn't win them because we wasn't in those competitions. So that's the first
we wouldn't have anyway because they involve semi-finals. This is my point. That doesn't matter. We've had 19 chances to win competitions, but
we wasn't in it. So we can't compare.
We've had 19 chances, Steve. We've had 19 competitions that we haven't won.
I understand that, but I'm talking about you saying we're finishing outside the top 4, which is basically
that's my opinion. I just see that's the way it's going. That's the way I see it. I see next season falling apart. I don't think Saliba wants to be here. I think there's a lot of issues that are going to carry over that don't just go away. I think the injuries are going to be bad again next season. Gykeres has to settle. Zubimendi has to hit the ground running. If he has a bad first few games, we have a rotten. We're playing teams in the first 6 games. We have 2 of the teams the best in the world at the high press. We could be out of the league after 7 or 8 games. If Liverpool and City start the way I think they will by winning their first 6, 7, 8 games, we lose 2 or 3. We're already out of it, and then the morale drops. This is what I see happen. I see a continuation of last season, and it's just my opinion. The thing is, if I get proved wrong, that means we qualify for the Champions League, or it means we did better than I thought. All well and good. I'm just going by, I just feel that we are going to really, really struggle next season. I just see it as a carryover, and you see it all the time when a manager he's at the last of his tenure, and everything just starts to fall apart. And that's all I see next season. I don't think the players are winning the way they were.
You're saying it on the point that no matter what he does, he can't do anything right. Because what I'm saying to you, the point we're at right now.
I think everything's falling apart.
Yeah, but
I think the squad's so thin.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what did you want someone to do at this point? And what signings do you want? You want Eze, right?
Well,
I
wanted Eze. I wanted Cunha, and I wanted
Gykeres. Let's talk about what we're talking about. I want to bring in Yardman because you've been listening to what's just been said. Shane's just said that he doesn't think we're going to get top 4. The squad's super thin. We brought in 6 players, right? Obviously, there's players that are going to go out. We brought in a number 9 that everyone wanted. Zubimendi,
we lost 7 players
going to join our starting 11. That's 2 starting 11 players. If we then bring in, potentially a left winger, 3 players to the starting 11, is that enough for you, Yardman, to challenge for a title? Or do you think, similar to Shane, we might not even challenge, we might not even get in the top 4?
Evening, everyone. I'm in Tottenham at the moment, and the signal is very crappy, as the area as the team. So if you can't hear me properly, I have my sincere apology. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, sounds
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I think about the team at the very present moment, the 6 signing that was signed, I can understand a couple of the signing, but Mikel Arteta still make stupid signing, to say the least, because we gonna spend 52 million.
Oh.
That was the wrong signing. We have to spend that money and give it to Crystal Palace for Eze. And what Eze would have bring to us, he would have on the left, and he could play as a 10, and he could have challenged Odegaard, because I don't believe Nwaneri going to challenge Odegaard, because he doesn't really trust or believe in Nwaneri. You understand? So that's the signing I'm not into. Well, the Zubimendi signing, yes, we know that. I say this because I did say this on my channel, and I'm not afraid. I don't give Mikel Arteta and Bertha and Arsenal FC any credit of signing Gykeres. I don't give them no credit, because really and truly, Gykeres signed himself to Arsenal. He bring himself really and truly there. If you look into it, because you pay 52 million for Madueke, you never argue. We never hear anything. Are we here? Mikel Arteta has been putting increase or whatever and putting in Madueke, and bam, Madueke signed for 52 million. Instantly, no argument. You pay 52 million for a guy that Chelsea paid 29 million 18 months ago. We haven't seen anything Madueke do to say, yes, in price gone up 25 million more. Because basically that's what Mikel Arteta paid. 20-something million more. So I don't get that signing. He's here. There's nothing else we can do. No, the no guard. Yes, he's the captain of Brentford. What he can do in the Premier League. I hope him come that he needs to do even better for Brentford. But then again, it doesn't add up to me, because you let a 32-year-old go and you sign a 31-year-old. The money that we use and sign no guard, over 15 million with odds on, or 12 million, 10 million, whatever. We could have paid Thomas Partey that. And we see what Thomas Partey do last season. Lucky enough, he was the only one who's come through injury-prone, injury-free. And that man is an injury-prone player. But we see when we have Thomas Partey playing at number 5, we see what he brings to the team.
The party thing's finished. The party thing's finished. That's done.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're going over that for. That's done.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean like that? What I'm saying to you, what did Thomas Partey do? What did we see from Thomas Partey last season? When he wasn't there, wasn't we never have a big hole in midfield? Yes or no?
Yeah, but Partey.
Okay, then hold on. Yeah, but you cannot say but. We see what him bring, because if Thomas Partey was there against PSG in the first leg at the Emirates, we would nobody think that we'd have lose that game. You see that goal?
We don't necessarily want. We don't want Partey at the club.
It's finished. Do you not know what's happened?
All right then. I know that Partey is gone. But what I'm saying to you, you let a 32-year-old go for a 31-year-old. Doesn't add up to me.
Jorginho's 33, coming up to 34. We saw last season that his legs were gone. You could see it. The guy could barely run when he started games.
But when you put him to play, at
31 years old,
at number 5, he's much better there. Okay, then, like I said, I'm just saying with no guard, the Kepa. I'm not against Kepa because at the end of the day, he's a good backup keeper. He want to come and sit on the bench for when Raya is not fit enough. Then fine by me. But I just didn't like, you get another Chelsea flop again. Player that Chelsea doesn't want. That's the only thing with Kepa. But on the other hand, I understand the Kepa, best backup keeper out there. Yeah, go and get him. We just see what him done. Save 3 penalty, 4 penalty. So we see what Kepa is a good player. At the very present moment, he's still the most expensive keeper. So I get that. Now, what we don't understand is how Mikel Arteta gonna play Gykeres, because everybody's jumping for Gykeres, but we have to play a strength. We have to. And Gykeres like to play off a number 9, off a defender, the last defender. Yeah, and it's very good because last season we couldn't break down a low block. For love nor money, no matter what we do, we can't beat a low block. If a team come and decide that they're going to put a low block, we done. It's a 0-0 game. So I hope Gykeres is going to bring something like what we see him doing for Sporting and Sweden. But the main problem I have that you should have gone and get Eze, because that's sure sign to Liverpool and Man City that we are here and we're not going to be here just to make up the numbers and come second again. But the team that him have right now, it's a little bit stronger, than last season. I hope everybody stay fit because 2023, 24, when we never really have any big injury or we didn't win, I never hear anybody blame injury. But this season we're blaming the injury. Yeah, I didn't see that Liverpool done magnificent to say, you know what, they were so good. Nobody could have beat them. It wasn't that. We could have. There's game that Liverpool lose, we go ahead and lose. Game that Liverpool draw, we go ahead and draw. So we never try to capitalize on Liverpool drop points, and we have opportunity to do that. So for me, we miss it already because Mikel Arteta shouldn't be at the club. I don't care what anybody want to say where we was when Mikel Arteta come take over. People that's making it look like, remember that team that Mikel Arteta take over went to a semi-final in Baku. I don't care if Chelsea trash us. We are talking like the team was so dead, like we do like when Man City and Man U and Tottenham do last season. That's what the people talking about. Like, when him come over and take over the club, we wasn't like that. Yes, we were short for a couple of players because at the end of the day, people like me did not give Unai Emery the chance or the opportunity to make a team. And we see what's up on manager he is at Aston Villa. So we have to understand that Mikel Arteta get this money to spend. So at least, at minimum, where we're at, then it shouldn't be a surprise. It's not like we give him a shoestring budget to go on and then him create a miracle and doing what I'm doing now. And then we're going to say, boy, look what I'm doing. We only have 50, 60 million to spend per a transfer window and in miracle. No, that's not the case. He get money, he get this. And the biggest thing, he get the say in the club. And that's one of the problems. But I'm just going to say this. I don't know who's agree with me, but we can always, I'm an Arteta fan out from the get-go. I didn't want him. But one of the things we have to understand, Arsenal football fraternity need to change the structure of the club, the way how we do club. We have to change. Yes, man. Yes, man. All right, then. We have to change and we have to start be acting like our behave of the as a Real Madrid. And why I say that to say this. We have to start by player what the club want, not players that the manager need. Because every time you buy a player for the manager, when the manager leaves, you have to rebuild. How much time we're gonna rebuild? We're gonna rebuild because manager come, give him 4 or 5 transfer window because this proper player is not his player. Start by what the club wants. So when a manager go, we don't have to say we have to rebuild. The manager take a look at Alonso went to Real Madrid.
That's what we're doing now, though.
No. We are buying Mikel Arteta.
Going out a bit.
It's an Arsenal buy, Mikel Arteta buy. You said that's what we're doing. Answer the question. Is that a Mikel Arteta? Pardon me? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you, Madueke, 52 million spent on him. That's waste of money. Unless he prove us wrong.
We don't know
Unless
that
he's going to come and prove us wrong. But that's what I'm saying. But from what we see, from what Madueke do, there's nothing that he done that Martinelli hasn't done. If you look on the stats, I don't like stats, but I don't see Madueke. Game in, game out, beautiful game where Chelsea cannot do without him. He's not that type of player. Rodrigo is that type of player. Why never go and get Rodrigo? Why never go and get Eze?
We haven't. That's not even. We don't know.
That's why we're not progressing.
What I'm saying is, the transfer window's not finished yet. We don't know. We don't know yet. That Kenny said.
No. Please, my brother, please. If you think that we're gonna get Eze and Rodrigo, any one of them, then you are so deluded that you're in cloud nine.
Of course, we can get one of them.
And if you think that we're gonna get Eze or Rodrigo, then you're living in cloud nine.
You don't think we can get one of them? You're crazy.
But
You're right.
the fact is that this all started is that how can we be in the position where we need 7-8 players? How can we be in that position? It has to come.
No, the most players we should have get. The most player we should have signed is a maximum 4. Push it to the limit 5. Because you don't want to interrupt what you have now. You're just showing that you're making. Because what we want, what the club want, is you to buy a player who's going to come in and start. So the player that start last season is on the bench, so our bench is stronger. You don't want player to come and sit on the bench. That doesn't make your team stronger. It makes your bench stronger, but you need a starting 11 to be the strongest. Because Madueke is not going to come and start.
But Gykeres will though.
Well, all right then. You want me bet me any money that it's going to be Kai Havertz who start at the first day of the season? You want to bet me?
Yeah.
You want to bet me?
That's not.
No. Answer the question. You see, you like to back Mikel Arteta. Answer the question. Do you want to put a bet on it?
That's not the point. The point is what I'm saying is you're saying that we need to buy players that improve the first 11, and everyone knows that Gykeres improves the first 11. But you're saying,
is he going to start? That's an answer the question. Do you believe?
Oh, I'm not a psychic. I don't know. I'm saying to you, you're asking.
Okay, then. So all right then. So you're gonna sign a player. You see what I'm talking about. We signed Gykeres, and we don't even know that Gykeres gonna start.
Say that again.
Okay, Gykeres gonna start. No,
say that again. Say that again. I didn't hear you. Say that again. We signed Gykeres, and now you're gonna say you don't even know if he's gonna start. That's what I'm saying. We signed Gykeres. Everybody should have said 100% Gykeres is the starting number 9. Not Kai Havertz. We can't say that. We cannot say that because we don't even know if Gykeres. That's what I'm saying. Why doing this? Yeah, but that's not the point. The point I'm making is all we can do at this point is sign players that we feel that we all want. That's the most that we can do, right? So if we sign Gykeres, we all want Gykeres. What do you think he's going to do? You think Gykeres is going to be a bench player? What do you think is going to happen?
What about the rest of the signings, Steve?
Which ones? What? Norgard is a bench player.
All the other ones we've made. Why are we signing bench players if our first team wasn't good enough last season?
Yeah, but all the 7 players.
Wait, let me answer this question. When you say our first 11 wasn't good enough, we all agree that our first 11, apart from two spaces, which is striker and left winger, that's what we're all crying out for. So the first thing that he's done, he's gone and got a striker.
And he got Madueke.
No, that's the last thing him done. That's the last thing him done. Be clear.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not even signed Gykeres yet. So up until now, Gykeres not signed. So that's the last thing he go and do. You see,
our team's one of the best teams our team is one of the best teams in the league. What are you talking about?
No, it's not.
You're going to knock our team not good.
Hold on.
They think we're shit. They think we're finishing.
Our team is one of the best teams in the league. What are you talking about?
How can we never win the league and then be the best
our team is one of the best team in the league?
Of course it is. What are you talking about?
I don't want to be one of the best. I want to be the best. I want to be the best. I don't want to be one of the best.
I get that. I understand that. But my point is, you saying we're not one of the best teams in the league is mental to me.
No, we're not. One of the best teams in the league. I
can name you 4 teams that is better than Arsenal last season.
No, you
4.
can't.
You want me to name them?
Yeah,
Only one team finished higher than
Liverpool,
Arsenal. 4 teams together.
Liverpool, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, and Tottenham. They all win trophy.
They are
They
better
all with
football
them. I
team
don't care.
than
No.
Arsenal.
Well, what are you talking about?
That's
What are you
crazy.
talking- Liverpool finished
Can you
17th.
name me in the top 5
Tottenham finished
leagues, all the
17th.
teams that
What are you
finished
talking
second?
about?
Do you think Inter Milan fans celebrated finishing second? Do you
No
think
one's
Inter Milan
celebrating
fans
finishing
celebrated
second.
finishing
That's what
We're
Arsenal
having-
fans do.
We're having two different convos. We're having two different convos. One
We're
person
the only
celebrating
club,
Milan.
so-called big club in the world that celebrate finishing second like it's a good
Oh, it's not
thing.
about
Always
celebrating
finish
finishing second. It's
Trophies
about the
don't matter.
facts.
It's all
The
about the
facts are
journey.
Tottenham are not better than
This
us. They're not a
culture
better team than us.
mediocrity, man,
Why?
is just driving the club into
Okay,
the
then.
ground.
So in the competition that Arsenal enter in, the same competition apart from the Europa League, we are all competing for trophy. And if
They
you go
won a
out there
trophy, we weren't in.
winning a
They won a
trophy,
trophy, we weren't in. What are you talking about?
it doesn't matter. They still got a trophy at the end of the season. That simply means they're better than us because they get a trophy. And the ultimate aim for what we are doing is to win a trophy. And they've done that. Okay.
What are you talking about, bro? How can Tottenham be better than Arsenal?
It's a crazy debate. My nephew plays for Oak Hill Tigers. They won a trophy last season. They better than
Oh,
Arsenal.
that's ridiculous.
No, we're
points,
talking
man.
about the same league.
Were they in the same league as Arsenal? Were they competing against Arsenal?
Tottenham are better than Arsenal. It's mad. They
Come on, man.
finished
We've
17th.
got to have a sensible conversation at the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? We can't be saying.
No.
Tottenham and Crystal
I didn't
Palace
say
are
Tottenham were
better.
better than Arsenal.
I think the whole conversation is this manager going to be good enough no matter what signings we make? Whether we get Gyokeres, Eze, and everything else.
No, he's not.
Is this manager going to be good
No.
enough to win us the Premiership or the Champions League? Me personally, and I've said it before, and I've said it on my channel, he's done some great things. He's done some good things. But I just feel, like everything else in life, that you have to face the facts that you've done all what you can. You've done everything possible you can, but it's just not good enough. And it was time to walk away, because I personally think that we are going to be back here again next season having the same conversation.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
This guy is not going to win us the Premiership. This guy is not going to win us the Champions League. And you've got to get your head around it, no matter what players we have at the club. Unless he drastically changes the way he plays, the way he sets up, and if he doesn't build that team around Gykeres to score goals, we are going to fall short again next season. And that is where I'm at with it. That is exactly where I'm at with it.
Can I just put something into that?
Jez or Kenny, I want to hear
I've
your
seen
opinion.
a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people saying it's all about ambition. That's a very good point. It is about ambition. Now, every single person in life should have an ambition. Like whatever it is you want to do. Everybody in the chat, everybody on the panel, everybody in the world should have an ambition. We've all done it. I've had it. If it doesn't work, that ambition, you need to change it.
Change it up.
Now, this manager has had ambition, and so far it has failed at every step. So, if it fails again this season, his ambition has capitulated beyond the level of failure. So he has to go. I've seen people in your chat here tonight, right? You can't win the league every year. We haven't won the league since 2004. 2004. So are you telling me that's showing ambition?
He hasn't been there since 2004. Is the first thing.
I'm
Yes,
not talking about him.
the second thing is no. Wait one second. The second thing is
ambition. I'm talking
but
about
what I'm saying is
I'm
every
not
time we
talking
have
about him. I'm not talking about the manager. I'm talking about the club.
Okay, cool. What I'm saying is every time we have a stream, we have the same Arteta convo. Yeah, and I'm saying in that time we have a stream yesterday, Arteta, day before Arteta, day before the Arteta. Nothing's changed in those 4 days. You're saying the same thing you said a week ago.
I haven't.
Nothing has changed in those 4 days. So I'm trying to figure out how you said Arteta should be out. Then the next day, Arteta should be out. Then the next day, Arteta should be out.
Arteta should be in, and then the next day you're saying
How does
Arteta should be in.
that change? How does that change? What
If he fails this year, he's got to go.
You've said that already. That's fine, but we haven't even started the season, and you're talking about him leaving, and we've just signed.
We've had 5.5 or 6 seasons.
No. This time
Why
next
is it always
season,
next
we're having the
season?
same
Why is it
We
conversation.
just signed the best striker. We just signed one of the best strikers in the world, and you're not talking about Arteta out.
What I said was every person and everything should have an ambition, and he's had ambition now for 5 years, and he's failed every time. So if his ambition this year is to win the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, and he fails, he has to go. That's what I said.
Okay,
I think that's fair. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are in that same bracket. Even people that want it, even people that like him, even people that think he's a good manager. I think he's a very, very good manager. It just hasn't worked out. Sometimes it doesn't click. You got to move on. You got to start. I don't want to say start fresh because it will be his squad, which is a shame. And then there'll be, how long a grace period does the next manager get? Does he get 3 years, 5 years to then build his squad to get players out? That's a lot of the problem when you've given a manager so long, when their fingerprints are all over a team, all over a squad, and then you get rid of him. What do you give it? Like I said, do you give him 5 years? Kenny, if he doesn't win anything next season, I think me and you are in the same boat if he's gone. Where do we start then with a rebuild? Does a new manager come in and we go, right, you get 2 seasons now, that we're going to set a limit because we tried with Arteta, we gave him 6 years, didn't work. We're now stuck with, I think, a very good squad, but then there is good, like I said, there's going to be a grace period to start again and to rebuild. Where do we go? Say next season it doesn't work. Where do you then go? And what does he have to do next season?
Well, the thing about it is that you've got to realise he's at a big club at Arsenal. He should embrace the pressure. The fact is, he should expect that, if we go without winning trophies, especially the league and the Champions League, then obviously his job's got to be under scrutiny. He should be getting scrutiny every year. It's only this season when we didn't. The reason why there's a lot of scrutiny for even people that are Arteta fans is because we were supposed to be the next cab of the rank when Man City fell by the wayside and we failed miserably. We were 10 points behind Liverpool, who basically won the league on the 27th of April, so they didn't have to break Man City, break the 90-point mark because the league was already done. And that's why a lot of people are now thinking, you know what? The scales are falling out of a lot of people's eyes. It's got to be this season. So regardless of whether, even if we didn't get Gykeres or any of these players, it was always going to be this season that he has to find a way to deliver success. It doesn't matter to me, the team's lopsided, that we haven't got the right credentials at left back. It wouldn't have mattered to me we didn't get a striker. What I'm seeing is that we had players who've had the experience of playing big games, and with what we got to deliver. And that is the situation with why there's a lot of tension, a lot of arguments, and they're going to continue. You think you've seen nothing yet. You wait till the season. Next season happens. If we draw a game, we don't have to lose a game. It's going to be. You think it's bad now. It's going to get worse now. And then I can't even contemplate getting a man not winning a trophy because it's going to be absolutely toxic. It's going to be Wenger levels. There's going to be complete anger. But let me tell you something now. The club won't die if Mikel Arteta leaves or gets removed from his job. Arsenal Football Club is one of the best jobs in football. It's a cushy job. It shouldn't be a cushy job. That's one of the reasons why we're having this debate, is because it's always been a cushy job, not just for Mikel Arteta. It was a cushy job for Wenger towards the end when he should have gone a long time ago, but he outstayed his welcome. It's been a cushy job for other managers. Arsenal Football Club don't know how to sack a manager ruthlessly. We just love to be this nice little Etonian club. And I'm afraid that until we win the league, because of the pressure we're under, a new manager's not going to get time. But guess what? That's tough luck because you're at Arsenal. You don't see Real Madrid saying, we've got to give a manager time. You don't see Bayern Munich do it. You don't see Man United do it. You don't see any big clubs. So if we're going to say we're a big club and start getting upset when we get compared to Tottenham and saying Tottenham had a better season than us and ready to fight, then fine. Act like a big club. Don't say that a manager got signed. Don't, when Gykeres comes in, say, you've got to give the guy time. Enough. Stuff that. He's come with a massive reputation. I want a hat-trick on the first game of the season. I want him to do Haaland settings. If he doesn't do Haaland settings, then I'm going to question it. That's why you're at Arsenal Football Club. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen and go and play for Portsmouth.
Yep.
Yard man, I've got a question for you. whether you like it or not, we've been close. We've been nearly men, Netflix FC, whatever you want to call us. Second 3 years in a row in a Premier League. Last year, semi-final of the Champions League, beat Real Madrid, lost to the best team in Europe. Semi-final of the Carabao, wussed out of it against Newcastle. Pathetic against Man United in the FA Cup. But we've been close, right? And you can't deny there's quality in this team. Players like Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, Declan Rice. Now bringing in Gyokeres. Players like Timber, Raya, Lewis-Skelly. There's quality all through this team and all through this squad. For you, how far are we? What does Mikel Arteta have to do for you to kind of do a 360? And do you think there's any chance that he can do it next season with what we're adding in?
Yeah, I think that team that we have now can go on and dominate for a couple of years. But the problem that we have, and we see it at the first stage that Mikel Arteta come in, is too much up in his feelings. Mikel Arteta have to do a 360 of the way how he do things, because you can't keep on doing the same things season in, season out and expect to get a different result. Because Mikel Arteta has been doing the same thing and we've been finished second and second and second and second. I do not for a blink of an eye give respect on second. No, I'm the first loser. What in that so I supposed to jump for? But what Mikel Arteta have to understand that you cannot be favoritizing player. You play the player them that you see that is fit for the position. You can't look on the pitch and see Martin Odegaard is not doing nothing, but because he's a captain, you're not going to hook him off. Yeah, you can't see Kai Havertz not doing the job, but you're not going to take him off. You're going to start him game in game, but you're going to keep on starting him. You can't do that. Start the best player that you have, and that is what I'm saying. Zubamende, you buy. Zubamende got to start. Yeah, that's Thomas Partey. Kai Havertz have to be on the bench. Gykeres have to start. And really and truly, I can't say no because we don't have that player. But I wouldn't want to see a Martin Odegaard start this season. And the reason for you're going to say, oh, but he's only one season or he's our captain. But I want him to show the rootness that, listen, if you're not on it, you're not going to play. And we want to win. But if you don't have that rootness about it, you're never, ever as a manager. Look at Pep. Pep don't mess about. He will put any and anybody on the bench. You understand? And that's what Mikel, and I remember, it is like a DNA with Arsenal because Wenger used to do the same thing that Arteta doing. Then again, you look at it, Arteta was under Wenger as well. And then see what Wenger do. And then see what Pep do. So him get look a bit at everybody. And the stubbornness what him get from Wenger. You know, you like the player, so you keep on playing the player, and it bringing down the team. You're not buying the right player to fit that position. Because the reason I know that he didn't go and get Eze, because Eze will come and challenge Martin Odegaard. And he doesn't want that. The reason why I want Zubamende, Benjamin Sesko, because Sesko is young. Okay, we can still play Havertz and give Sesko the game now and then, or bring him on. These are the reasons because you want him favoritized. I spent 65 million on Kyle Havertz. I can't let people post season and then I drop him. Then everybody gonna say that, oh, I told you. He doesn't want that. So what I'm saying, he have to do a 360 with his mentality of, oh, he does. You're sitting down there and it's not working. Or you're sitting on there and you're not making any change. I've done that last season. Mikel Arteta is the first manager in history of the Premier League to play 5 left back in one game. 5 in one game. And when I say that 360 again, we're looking for goal. You take off a left back and bring on a left back. When we have young player on the bench like Ethan Waneri, yeah? Although he's not scoring goal, but guess what? You have Sterling on the bench. We know that, yes, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, but you cannot take off a defender when you're chasing a game and put on a defender. These are the things that Mikel Arteta do all the time in every single game. Left back for left back, right back for right back. You can't do that. We're not going to win. We're never going to win anything. So unless he do a 360 of the way he manages substitution, the way he play the player them, we're never going to win. And I don't believe personally that you could give Mikel Arteta the world best 11. I don't believe that Mikel Arteta is a manager who can get us any club. I mean, I'm not going to say any Arsenal over the line. I don't believe that he's that sort of manager. He's just the manager who is the get there. But to take you over the line is not the type of manager.
Yeah, do you know what? And that's what I just said. I don't think you can give him all the tools in the world. He's just not got it in him. And his in-game management has to change. His in-game management is woeful. We saw it against PSG. You know, try something different. We're going out the competition. We've never won it. Try something different. Put Martinelli in the middle. Put Trossard on the left. Move Odegaard from the 10. Put Ethan Wanyeri in there. Just try something different. He did try something different.
But you see in the rematch,
he started throwing long balls. Long throws into the box. Stoke City. David Raya whacked 30 yards down. It's just everything about him in game, in big moments. And I know we finished second and everything else. And this is what I keep hearing. Yeah, but we finished second and we got to the Champions League semi-final. Yeah, but once you're there, what are you going to do now? What's your next step, Mikel? You've put us on that pedestal. What's the next level? And he hasn't answered.
1 goal in 7 semi-final matches, DJ. 1 goal, 1 single goal in 7 semi-final matches.
You know, and this is the worry with Arsenal fans. And I know Gyokeres coming in, brilliant, all the players we need. But the bottom line is the core root of the problem at the moment is the manager. And unless he changes the way he plays, you can have prime Messi, you can have prime Ronaldo in your team. If he ain't changing tactics and he ain't looking at himself in the mirror and going, what can I do to change it? Nothing.
He spends a lot of time looking at himself in the mirror, DJ.
Nothing's going to change. That's where I'm at, people. You know, that's how I feel.
I agree with a lot of the points there. I think if you look at City, I don't know whether this is a financial thing, an off the field thing that they can do this and we can't. You look at City bringing in someone like Calvin Phillips, straight away Pep saw he wasn't good enough.
Yeah,
he was pretty much gone. You know, Nico Gonzalez they bought in January. They replaced him with Reinders already. All right, we saw Grealish come in. Don't get me wrong, he played a part in that treble season, but he wasn't in Pep's long-term plans. There's been other players at City. There's been other players at other teams where they realised straight away and they fixed their mistakes. Whether that, like I said, is a financial thing, whether we can't afford to pay £65 million on a player, him come in and not be good enough, which Kai Havertz isn't. He's not good enough to start for Arsenal. But Arteta has died on that hill, it seems. I completely agree that he needs to.
Christian, they let him get rid of Ozil and Aubameyang for nothing, so he could easily drop these players. It's not a financial thing. They let him get rid of these big name players. They gave him full free reign before he was only in the door. He was allowed to just kick Ozil out of the team, kick Aubameyang out of the team. Our 2 highest paid players. So it's not a financial thing. It's an arrogance thing. He has to prove that he's right. It's his signing, so he has to prove that he's right.
Yeah, he's got to change.
Yeah, there's another thing that worries me about Arteta as well, and this was more of a situational thing last season, is because he hasn't been there and done it. There was a time last year where we were going into that PSG first and second leg, but I thought he managed the team wrong. I thought he didn't quite know what minutes to give certain players in the league, in other competitions. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, Saliba played too much. Gabriel was playing too much before his injury. He needs to manage situations better. And when a manager hasn't been there and done it, they haven't been to, latter stages of big competitions, they can get that wrong. And the advice around him, he hasn't got really experienced guys around him. I know they brought in Hines now, who should bring a bit more experience. But now that he does have that another year of experience on his shoulders, he's been to the latter stage of the Champions League again. Hopefully he can manage the team better, manage minutes better. I think Madueke is coming in to help manage Saka's minutes. I'm not happy with that. I don't want to say I'm not happy with the signing. I'm not happy with the
Sorry, cutting, Matt. Sorry, cutting.
Sorry, go on.
You're saying a £52 million player is brought in to cover Saka's minutes. Are you sure about that, mate?
He's out the left. He's playing him out the left.
£52 million player isn't going to start games. I think Mikel Arteta is going to go left field and maybe start
him on the left. That's the rumour, yeah.
When you talk about Mikel Arteta and experience, the thing is he has got the experience, isn't he? Because you can't have not. He's got the experience now because let's face it, he was in a title challenge in 23-24, so he has to learn from that. And if he hasn't learned from that, that's why people have doubts about his in-game management. The reason why everyone talks about his in-game management is because he's married to the system. He's got a strict way of playing where we've got to play a certain way, and only certain personnel can play. That's why I hold him responsible for the injuries to Saka and Havertz. That was him. because he didn't have to play him in games we were in the League Cup. Bolton, when we were playing Bolton and Crystal Palace, all those sort of games, he didn't need to play them, but he played them because of that, because he's married to that wretched system. And then he didn't take heed of the fact the Champions League is a proper competition and not the garbage, the crap it was before, where it was like the group stage where the best two teams got through. We were playing intense games. Those 8 games were intense. We had to win all of them. So you say that he hasn't got experience. Well, he has got the experience. It's just that he keeps on making those mistakes in the vital moments when we get really close. He made a mistake against Aston Villa, made a mistake against Bayern Munich, and against PSG. He didn't realise that this is a different PSG. It wasn't the PSG we played their best performance in. We played them in October. This is a PSG that had tunnel vision and thought, right, we're going to win this competition. And he made mistakes. He can't keep on making these mistakes. You can't put it down in experience. It's maybe when the pressure hits, he just under pressure. Maybe he can't deliver. But we're going to find out next season, because every game from Man United first game of the season to the last game of the season, Crystal Palace, they're all pressure games now because we have to win the league. And I think he's only going to take the league and the Champions League really seriously. So if he's going to take the league and the Champions League really seriously, well, you know what? All the 38 games are cup finals. Good luck, mate.
Yeah, he's definitely made mistakes, man. I think even the most ardent Arteta-in supporters will hopefully, if they're not fully deluded, accept that he's made mistakes. When you haven't won a trophy in 5 years, of course there are mistakes along the way. But look, man, I'm hopeful that he can fix that.
I just want to jump in there. I mean, I find it quite fascinating that people say support the manager, support the manager, support the manager. It's this, that, and the other. No, I support that badge behind me, right? I support that. I support the club. I support the players on the park every single game they play. I don't support the manager. I've seen many managers come and go in my lifetime of supporting Arsenal. I've seen some very good managers come and go. But when they have to go, they have to go. I will always support the badge behind me, and I'll always support the players on the park. That is how I support my football club, Arsenal. I don't support a manager. I didn't think, every week I was applauding Arsene Wenger. I didn't do it with George Graham. I didn't do it with Bertie Mee or Terry Neal, right? All them managers I've seen over the years. At the end of the day, I expect the manager to do his job behind the scenes. And I'm not going to support him and say, oh, big up, big up, big up. Yeah, great, fantastic. Well done. If you ain't doing the job, get out. That is what it's about.
Jez, you look, it says Arsenal since 1967. You've been watching Arsenal a lot longer than me, a long time. Do you think he can do it? Do you think next season he can not just win a trophy, but win a major trophy?
No. I'll tell you for why. It's nothing personal. I don't know the man. I've never met the man. I don't want to meet him, right? I've seen him play as a player. He wasn't that great. He was all right. But at the end of the day, I just don't think he's got quite enough to get it over the line. He'd get you to a certain level, which he has second, and all that. But that is failure. And I don't care what anybody says. The thing is, this season's going to be very important because now he's got to prove himself. And I think it's going to be a tough fight this year. Teams are invested. Man City have bought, another 11 players, right? Liverpool have invested. Man United, I'm sure, will do something as well. Chelsea are buying. It's going to be a fight. Will this guy, Arteta, have it enough in him to get it over the line? It's going to be a big ask. Big ask. And if he doesn't, Christian, and D, he's got to go. That's it. Enough is enough.
I haven't done super chats the whole show, so let me get these in quickly. It's been a great debate. You guys,
it's been great.
Great chat. Tanya Carl says Martinelli seems to not improve. Ranieri can easily play over Odegaard. I agree. At least rotate them. Odegaard's not playing well. Towards the end of last season, Ranieri should play more. Got to improve a lot. Sensei says Martinelli is dog shit. Sell Ace up, big up the panel. Again, says if Gykeres has to play with scrubs like Martinelli, he's got no chance. Don't think he is good enough for the 4th Brazil tier nowadays. I mean, he starts, maybe not starts, he gets in the Brazil squad. So I think he's at least good enough for 4th tier Brazil. But I think this guy doesn't like Martinelli. If everyone had the aim of Martinelli, any more in the world anymore.
How did you gather that? He put in 3 super chats just to berate the chat.
Big up Sude says,
that's dedication, man.
Get the likes and subscribe. Caitlin says, anyone seen Teta play Eze like he does Trossard?
Yeah, that's very funny.
Netweed says, fans like Christian and D would accept Sesko.
Fair enough.
All right.
It's all us deluded, isn't it? So we might as well run with it. You know what I mean?
Bit of a hater here. Shane needs to stop interrupting. That's Sensei again. That's the Martinelli hater.
No, I was just bigging you up, you dick.
I know. It's great to see so much positivity. Lawrence says, any of you spot the bust up between Trossard and Jova after 90 minutes? Arteta had to step in between them to break it up.
Yeah, I saw something, but I thought he was having a go at Jova, telling Jova because he had his laptop or tablet, and I thought he was sort of saying not now. But obviously that was between Trossard and Jova, so I did see something going on. But as Kenny said earlier, I don't think Trossard wants to be at the club personally.
No, I haven't seen anything. I'll have a look on Twitter after. Vanta Silva says 4-4-2 is the way. Kai Shadow Striker, Lincoln Victor. I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see Kai Havertz in this starting 11. Like I said before, I don't even want to see him coming on because, like I mentioned, the Lacazette quote about, Lacazette saying, after 70, 75 minutes is when defenders are tired, when you get most of your goals. That's when I want to see Gyokeres making those late runs. So I understand he'll play a part. Hopefully it's in Carabao and FA Cup.
He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me, Havertz. He never has done.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. Abdullah says, with the most bipolar fan base, we wanted a top striker, so we got the hottest striker available. We wanted a left forward, we got Noni, and we're still after Eze. I think Noni's more of a right winger, to be honest, but I get your point. Replace Partey and Jorginho, we've got another centre-back. It's still July, ungrateful whining. We have got 6 players which is unheard of for Arsenal. Usually we've got 1 player, maybe 2 players over the line, and then we get 1 more on deadline day. There was a summer where we just got Petr Cech. That was it. So to have 6 players by 23rd of July, it is a change. I have to admit, Berta is doing a good job.
We need to get players out, though, Christian, don't we? There's a lot of players we need to move out. Sambi Lokongas and
Lokongas. Nelson's probably going to go, although he looks sharp. Zinchenko. There's a few players. El says if Arteta doesn't win, we go and try to sign someone. Berta already knows Simeone from his time at Atletico. It's very true. I've always said Simeone's a manager I really like. So if Arteta was to move on, although I don't think Simeone's won a trophy in 5 years either. So there's an argument there. And Sude says, question, who's better left wing, Eze or Madueke? Back up 10, Eze, Nwaneri or Madueke. Right wing, Nwaneri or Madueke. If Eze is better, why not get Eze before Madueke? I agree. I think everyone on this panel would prefer Eze instead of Madueke, but they've seen something in him. Arteta had a quote before the end of the season about Chelsea and how they're the best attacking team in the league.
Yeah, he knew
seen Madueke has come in. He said he's one of the best attacking outlets. Blah blah blah. Arteta sees something in him. I personally don't trust Arteta's talent ID in the front line. I think defensively.
Hey, Christian. Don't accept Berta for this. This has got his fingerprints on it as well. Trust me, they'll both complicit. I'll put my house on the fact that when with Chelsea signing all these wingers, the lad was offered to us. Berta thought, oh, this is a great idea. We always have great relationships with Chelsea. The players all want to stay in London. Yeah, let's have a go. He's an England international, hence the fact the £52 million England tax. I always call Berta up and call Berta. Trust me. There's a lot. Nothing goes on without his hand in it. And trust me, this is just as much a Berta signing as it is a Mikel signing. In fact, probably a bit more of a signing.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, last question then, and then we're going to round it off. I think it's been a good transfer window. 6 players in, probably 2 starters in Gyokeres and Zubimendi. Some decent depth. Like I said, I'm not mad about Madueke. I just don't like the price tag. I'm not mad about Kepa, $5 million for a decent keeper. We saw he saved 3 penalties today, so it's definitely a good start. I thought Norgard looked good today. Captain of the team that finished 10th to come in and be maybe even third choice, I don't think is bad business. But what else do we need? What else? That's the big question now. I don't want to see them stop. I want to see them finish this job, right? And if this is the Arsenal and the Cronkies that I know, they might stop here. This might be it. We might just see outgoings from now. But it can't be. If we really want to challenge what Liverpool are doing, and by the way, Shane, Liverpool have bought in a lot of players this transfer window. I think they've signed 5 so far. We've signed 6. Man City have signed 5 after signing 4 in January. So it's not just us that had big problems.
Yeah, but they're not signing them because they're desperately. They're signing players to come in and challenge for the first team. We're signing backups. That's the difference, and we're signing them to only meet the minimum standard of a squad. They've got a massive squad. They're just signing to improve. We're desperately scrambling around trying to find players. Because we'll be short. They're signing Havertz. I don't hear one Liverpool fan saying, "Oh, well, what's going to happen to McAllister? What's going to happen?" He's going to come in, fight first place. The right back will start. Frimpong will start. I don't think Gykeres will start at early in the season. He'll be edged in. They're building from a position of strength. We're desperately. If we didn't get these players, we'd be in untold trouble. You know what I mean? This would be trouble that's never been seen with the squad. Where they could have still done without. That's the difference.
I would swap Liverpool signings for our signings. Definitely. I would take Havertz. Gykeres as the left back, put Skelly into midfield. And I would, for the players Liverpool signed, I would swap. The Etitike, Gykeres, probably would take Gykeres over Etitike if given the choice.
Yeah.
That's only from what I see on paper. But on the whole, Liverpool signings that they've made over the last sort of 2 seasons, I would probably I would take Liverpool signings. But if you was going to ask me about what I rate the window so far, Christian, I mean what we've done in the signing sense of view. I think it's difficult at the moment, isn't it? I mean, I saw Zubimendi play today. I saw some good things, but I can't really rate them until I've seen about a dozen games.
Yeah, I agree. Let's not. I think we did it. We've done it over the past few weeks.
Yeah, around about Christmas time.
I just want to ask one more question. Of like I said, what more we need? Look, the obvious is left wing. Eze and Rodrigo are the 2 names. Does anyone think there's anything else?
Left wing playmaker. I think we desperately need a kind of central midfield attacking player. Someone that's going to pick the ball up like a Merson type player, a Rodgers does for Aston Villa. Someone in the centre that's going to kind of pick the ball up, run with it, open the play. I think we need a creative midfield player, someone that's willing to sort of get the ball and run with it and take on and drive at the back, drive at the defence to try and open it up for that low block. That's what I'd like to see. Because at the moment, we've got kind of like for like in midfield. Like Zubimendi's come in and he ain't really kind of pulling up any trees. He's steady. He's a good player, but he's steady. He's like Jorginho and Partey. He'll get the ball. He'll knock it 5 yards or 10 yards. I'd like to see that exciting kind of number 10, if you like. I want to see an exciting number 10, like a real attacking midfield player, someone that's going to open the game up a little bit. That's what I'd like to see. And obviously a left winger. We desperately need a left winger. And if we can't get Rodrigo, have a look at someone like Lookman or someone like that, get someone in that's going to create something.
I think the club agrees with you as well. I think we've seen there was interest from Arsenal over Xavi Simons over the past couple of days. Eze, there's obviously interest. So that number 10 attacking midfield area, it looks like they're trying to address. Whether they will or not, we don't know. And watching the game today, I thought Reece Nelson came on and probably was better than Martinelli and Trossard. And he's the one that's probably going to go. So there's definitely a problem there. I think we're not going to go over what we need then, because we all know Eze, Rodrigo. We know those are the positions. I just want one final question. I touched on it before. Look, we haven't seen him in an Arsenal shirt yet. I think it'll be interesting to do this. People are talking about style of play. Yardman, I'm going to start with you. Gyokeres, how many goals does he get for Arsenal next season in all competitions, and how many does he get in the Premier League? Give me a number.
To the way we play, and we like to distribute the goal them all over the front three and defender. I can see easily Gykeres can pick up at minimum anything over 15 in the Premier League all season. I can see about 25. But we could get more out of Gykeres if we get a better player or we get a much better holy guard, somebody who know how to distribute. Because as much as everybody's saying it, I think CB said, I always said that a player like Cesc Fabregas, so no one is not out there right now. We're not going to get a player, but we need a player who can pick a lock. And I don't see my captain, my number 10, holy guard. I don't see him as that type of player. I see him more like a player who can come on and manage a game when we're leading 1-0 or under the pressure. He's that type of player. But to pick a lock is not the type. And a player like Gykeres who like to play off the defender, we need player who can look the left and pass the ball right. And you know that your number 9 gonna run to the right because you're looking to the left, but you know your number 9 gonna go right. So the ball gonna go there. That's the type of chemistry we need. The 10 and the 9 to link up. And that's why I did want a player like Eze. But if we don't, then I said, I can see Gykeres easily because of the way we play and the way he play now up and right. I can see easily in the Premier League anything over 15 and 25 all competition.
Okay. Just for context, D, before I'm going to go around, before I come to you, Erling Haaland in his first season at City got 36 in the league and 52 in all competitions. So I'm going to come to you next.
Yeah, he'll get 20 plus in the league and he'll get 30 plus in all comps if he plays. If he just plays every game, or he's not barring injury. He will score at an incredible rate. I think people are underestimating how many chances we create and how good a finisher he is. He'll find it easy, man.
When you say 20 plus in the league, give me a number.
20, 25, between 25 and 30.
League
Kenny?
goals.
Yeah, definitely.
25 and 30 league goals.
I'm saying I think he'll get 15 goals in the league, and I think he'll get about, in total, league and cup goals, 23 goals. We don't really get that far in the FA Cup, and he might sneak a couple in the League Cup. I think the Champions League, if he gets about 6 or 7 goals, that could take us pretty further in the competition. Maybe a semi-final, maybe who knows, a final. But I think you'll find more the league. I just think it's not a bad thing if he gets 15 goals because I'll be expecting Saka to contribute. For all we know, Saka might even still stay on the penalties. So he's not on the penalties, and 15 league goals. That's competent level. And then we get more goals for Saka, get goals from
Phones on the thing.
If Odegaard contributes, that's a chance of us competing for the league.
If he gets 15, that's a bad season.
You reckon?
Yeah.
What if we get? What about Saka? If Saka gets 50, it gets 13.
If Saka gets 15,
if they all chip in with goals, that can be.
It might be a good season for us as a club. I mean, if they all chip in, but for Gykeres personally, 15 goals in the Premier League. Gykeres 15 goals in the Premier League.
When at big clubs, he's not a big fish at Arsenal. He's the guy that we're looking to. But at Sporting, everything was, the tactics was basically make sure this guy gets goals. We're not sure whether Mick Arteta's going to tweak his system. He doesn't tweak his system. 15 goals, maybe 15 or 16 is about right.
That's the same as Havertz level, though, man. That's not good enough, man.
Yeah, but Havertz got 15 league goals.
He got 12. He got 12 or something, didn't he?
Yeah, but you have to be realistic. Yeah, but D, you've got to be realistic. One, the way we play, and plus he's playing in a tougher league. You can't underestimate that. There's some really good teams. It's that's the thing. I'm not gonna. If he gets 30 goals, I'm laughing, but I don't think he will.
You'll get
I'm not
20
doing
plus.
that in the Portuguese league. I'm not doing the Premier Liga. I'm just saying it's a different kettle of fish.
Kenny, quickly. I know you're going around quickly, but you just stated that Erling Haaland get how much goal he get in the first season.
36.
Remember that he have a magnificent player in De Bruyne. When De Bruyne is not playing, his goal dry up. So that's what I said with Gykeres. Give me a player like that. Yeah, give a player like give a player like De Bruyne with Gykeres. And the reason why I said 15 because he just come back in the Premier League. We have to give him time to and I said 15 at minimum. Him get 20 goals. That is really good. That is really good. And I said 15 upwards. You understand? But we have to have the player that who's going to feed him. And if you feed him goal, and if you play to his strength, then 15 goal going to be nothing. You will get that before December. Trust me. But we have to feed him. We have to play to his strength. And you know Mikel Arteta going to want to run from one 18-yard box to the another 18-yard box. You know that. And that is the problem. We need him to stay there. We are paying you to stay on the defender. Stay there. We don't need you to defend. What we have in defender, we're going to get our goal scorer to defend. I'm not saying that player not supposed to track back, but we don't want one. We don't want our player, our centre forward who's supposed to score and goal running from one end to the pitch to the another end to defend.
No, man, get used to it. Get your head round it, mate. It's going to happen, or he's going to end up on the left side. He's going to end up left wing. Get your head round.
I know.
There was a time we were criticising Jesus for not scoring enough goals, but I would watch him get the ball between the centre backs.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I completely agree that the style of play.
Yeah, he has to be.
Shane, same question.
Yeah, I think I'm with Kenny. I think 15 league goals. If he's on penalties, it might change. I presume he will be on penalties, but we don't get many penalties. To be fair, we're not like a Liverpool or a Newcastle who are constantly making bursting runs into the box. We're not really I don't know how many penalties we got last year, but I doubt it was anywhere close to Liverpool. I'm not off the top of my head. But I think 15. I think he'll be more successful in the Champions League. I think the Champions League will suit him more. It suits us more. We get more chances. We get more clear-cut chances in the Champions League. I think he'll score a good few in the Champions League. I don't think he'll play in the FA Cup and League Cup, but I imagine Havertz will start in the FA Cup and League Cup. And I think against this, I can see him getting a lot of goals. And this isn't a slight on him, but getting like if he is going to get a hat trick, I can see him banging a hat trick in to get a home to Burnley or something like that. I think he'll score in games, in big games as well. But I think 15 would be mine. If he got 20, I think he's had a fantastic season. If he got 20 in the league.
Cheers.
I'm going to predict an 18 goals in the Prem.
You missed it.
As long as he stays fit.
Fun.
And I reckon in other comps, I tend to agree with you, Shane. I don't think we'll see him too much in the League, FA Cups, unless of injuries, of course. I think the Champions League suits him quite nicely. So I'm going to say in the Champions League, I'm going to say I'm going to go a punt on it because I think he will get the penalties if we do get them. I'm going to go another 10 goals. I'm going to say 28.
Yeah, I think so.
28. Ooh, well, Jez, you stole my thunder, mate. I'm going to say about 18 goals, Premiership, because I think he will score goals against the lesser teams. No disrespects to them, even though we find it very difficult to play against the lesser teams. It's the top teams we don't seem to have a problem with. The West Ham's at home and all the Burnleys away, we seem to struggle with. But anyway, I'm going to go 18 goals. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get much game time, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. I think there's going to be squad rotation. Well, I hope there's going to be squad rotation because of injuries and stuff. And because I think Arteta is going to go all out for Champions League and Premiership, I think most of his games are going to come in the Champions League. Depending on who we get in the early stages, I reckon he'll bag about 6 goals in the Champions League. So yeah, it's 18, it's about 24, 25 all in total, I reckon. 26. Yeah.
Just looking at some numbers to round off.
It's an upgrade.
Yes, yeah. Van Persie, 2011-12, scored 30 goals. That's Arsenal's record in the Premier League. Thierry Henry also, 03-04, scored 30. Henry 05-06, 27. Henry 04-05, 25. Alexis Sanchez, 2016, 17, 24. Adebayor, 07, 08, 24. Henry, 24. Henry, 24. Ian Wright got 23, 96, 97. The last in recent eras, obviously, I know I mentioned Alexis Sanchez, but Aubameyang got 22. They split the Golden Boot. I think it was with Son and was it just him and Son?
Last season.
Son and someone else. So
And Salah as well, I believe.
and Salah as well. Sorry, there were 3 of them. It's hard
Christian,
to judge.
can I just say? So what I'm saying is, you've just reeled off there like banging strikers. And they're only just clipping 22, 24 goals. So when you're putting this guy in that league and you're expecting him to get 28, 30 goals, sometimes you have to just think realistically. It's going to be a big ask for him. He's not in that league of striker. He's the best.
And remember when we are scoring all of those goals back then, there was no VAR. We manage how much of them goals I get ruled out. So that's what we're saying. And VAR again take away a lot of goal which in past time would have been given. So this is why I said, and I say it again, and I will forever say, give we and I hope and pray, because he's our captain. He's going to be the number 10 for us in Holy God. And I hope and pray he give us a magnificent season, because without he doing that, we're going to struggle, because we need player to put the ball. And then again, sometimes we said 15 goals. When we look, we see Martinelli last season get 8 to 9 goals. Saka will get the 8 to 9 to 10 as well. And really and truly, if Kyle Havertz is getting 12, 13, then Gykeres is supposed to be hitting 20. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
We've seen Kyle get 13.
Yardman, you forgot about Marino, mate.
Marino came in and did a job. Martinelli got 15.
You see what I'm saying? Marino can come again and score. And look what Marino do. And then we have to big up Mikel Marino for what he done. He saved us. Like, if it wasn't for him, we would have finished second. You understand? And I hope Mikel Arteta repay him back this season. I hope he repay him back and give him game time.
Sure. I'm going to finish it off. I'm going to go 23 league goals. I'm going to go 31 total. 32 total. 23 in the league. I don't think you'll get too many minutes. I don't think you'll get too many minutes in the Carabao and the FA Cup. I could be wrong. But look, let's round it off there. It's been a great show. We've gone on tangents. We've answered some good questions. We watched Arsenal play today, which was nice. We're playing against Newcastle on Sunday. So, look, we're all going to watch that. We might see, hopefully, some Gyokeres up against Isak if he's back in the mix, because obviously they dropped him after the transfer speculation. So, let's see. But as always, DJ, Jez, Shane, Kenny, D, and Yardman, thank you for jumping on. Go and follow all of these guys, all on their socials. Great show. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Dan should be back next week. And yeah, man, look, football's back. Arsenal are back. Let's hope it stays positive. Let's hope we stay winning. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Big up, everyone. Big up.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, everyone.